Okay, I apologize. A little bit later than I thought. I was busy talking to Diana on the phone. So, yeah. Damn, so you're already in here already. Yeah. First, this was supposed to be like a birthday party kind of thing. For some friends, in our group and stuff. But as time went through the night, or actually the day, I started to learn some really fucking weird, crazy details. Well, yeah, I'm waiting until some people show up. If people are going to show up because it's pretty fucking important. So let's wait a minute and see how it goes. Because okay, I'm gonna make my own opinion very well appear clear. Um, yeah, I do believe Richard Allen was probably involved in this crime, one way, shape, or form, or the other. Uh, there's plenty of small details left to make that assumption. But the whole, we know that he murdered them himself, or this, that, both of them, etc. I'm not entirely too sure about that anymore. Really, mm, I don't know. Yeah, there's some details I'm working fine. Details I figure work out and stuff. And it is just me because Diana has to get the little mini monster up in the morning, get on the bus and stuff. So yeah, and you all should know. Well, there's only one person here, anyways. Probably me, or it might be Hoosier, because I told him I do have some important information. And yeah, see, this is why I prefer to be in my nice little middle ground stance, where I can figure things out on my own and rely on actual evidence and facts and all the other proof and all that other stuff. And well, I seen some shit, y'all. I seen some shit. And most of the people that see this will probably be like tomorrow or whatever. Because I tell you what, you're about to hear about this shit because it's about to go nuts. Wow, yeah. That's the biggest understatement I could have ever given you in this entire situation. Is shit is about to hit the fan. Because, yeah, like I said, I have a guilt trip through and through. I do believe that somehow that man was involved, blah, 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 blah. But I don't trust the police anywhere, let alone fucking Indiana. Uh, Especially Indiana because of their shitty ass track record. And yeah, this is probably why. And I don't know. You can make the case that well, we shouldn't have known this info for this reason or that reason or this and that. I'm sorry. Once that man was convicted, we should have known this. And I guess it took a little bit of time, and we are starting to learn it. And oddly enough, it's like I don't know. Some people want this to be swept under the rug or not talked about or this and that and the other, and I'm not having it. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm gonna give it like another minute or less, and then I'm just gonna start to go out all out and fucking say this shit because it's insanity. I want to know what the fuck the story is behind this because it's just fucking nuts. Um, I, I guess I can start on that part of it. Yeah, apparently, for whatever reason, there was some clothing items found in May of 2017. Uh, I'm not sure why, and that's part of the story I'd love to know about, or whatnot. But the sheriff's department, or Carroll County, or the ISP, or whatever who it may be at the time that responded to this, was notified that there were some clothing items found: two black T-shirts and a pair of blue jeans. Uh, and the person that was reporting these items being found uh, said they were fairly certain or kind of sure or whatever it was that this pertained to the incident. And The incident being the Delphi murders. And remember, this is May, and murders was, of course, February 13th. Now, they were found at Radley Park, underneath or near the underneath of the Washington Bridge or whatever. Apparently, they were, I want to say, buried underneath some landscaping stuff, is how the report stated. And, but it wasn't that information alone that just caught my fucking interest in just like, no, I mean, when I say red flags, I don't get red flags this big ever, okay? And straight up and plain out and simple, it was the fact of who the cops had to go meet that found these items that are firing off massive red flags in my mind. And I hate the way this sounds. So I'm going to make it fully clear. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying anything about anyone entirely. It's just really fucking weird that you would have thought we would have known this by now. Did the lab not find anything? I mean, what kind of person finds these three clothing items and somehow tells himself, this has to be involved with Delphi? I mean, it seems kind of weird, don't it? I mean, why would these three? I mean, unless maybe they had a bunch of blood or something on them. Two black T-shirts and a pair of blue jeans, as I said. Um, so what happens is, well, we seen the bridge guy video, and he damn sure wasn't wearing a black shirt, right? So we can confirm no black shirts on bridge guy, I guess, from what we can see in the video. And we can also see that the girls are not wearing black shirts either, and they got their jeans and stuff. So what about these two black T-shirts? I guess they're T-shirts. And a pair of blue jeans was so indicative that the people called the police and said, hey, this is probably connected to Delphi. And, well, here's the worst fucked up part of it all, okay? And this is where it gets crazy. The people that called in this tip to the, I guess, Carroll County Sheriff's Department or the Indiana State Police was none other than Chase Wilbur and Kelsey German. And apparently the officers met Kelsey and Chase at the scene, and they took them to where, I don't know if she was trying to be all like a detective and trying to find stuff and just saw something that just seemed odd to her. I don't know the details. I want to know the details because I don't know. It just doesn't seem. It could be good. It could be bad. I don't know how to take it, to be honest with you. But the fact that this evidence, apparently, if it is evidence, I'm not sure, was found in May and was found by Kelsey and Bree's brother, of all people. Uh, two black shirts and a pair of blue jeans that they swore probably had something to do with Delphi being found under landscaping stuff, which I'm not even sure what that means. Like sod, soil, what does that mean? And why would these three articles of clothing, I could probably walk around in my yard and find like a sock or something like that. It'd be a lot different than me calling up and going, "Hey, officers, I found this sock outside my house, and I think it somehow is connected to the murder of something, something." That's just insanity to me. Why? What about these three articles of clothing screamed out that they might be involved in Delphi? That Kelsey and Chase had to call, and this was months later, by the way. And I'm not sure what it means. And the fact of who found it, kind of like, what the hell? And I'm not entirely sure how far or how close Radley Park was to the Monon High Bridge, but I do remember seeing a Carroll County Sheriff's Department dispatch log or whatever. And while they were looking for the girls on the 13th in the afternoon or whatever, it was mentioned in that log that some minors or some kids, teens probably, were seen near the Washington Bridge in Riley Park. I'm not saying that has anything to do with each other. I'm just saying that it's kind of weird that it's also right around where these articles of clothing were found. So we have two minors, or at least two minors, spotted at this place where this other evidence could have been recovered at later on by, of all people, Kelsey German and her boyfriend, Chase Wilbur. I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to imply anything, but in face value, I'm just going to say it does not sound very good in the way it sounds with everything else that's going on in this case and the police have and everything else. The whole fact that there could be some serious evidence not used in the trial that was found by Kelsey German and her boyfriend. That's wow. That's fucking mad in regards to everything that's going on. You know, of all people, I get small town and all that, and I always say there's a difference between small town bullshit and weird shit. But I'm not seeing small town bullshit in this case. I am not a day late. Yeah, it's not the party thing anymore, Carol. It's about Delphi, bruh. Did you know, Carol and May of 2017? Somebody called in the sheriffs and the, I guess the ISP too. I'm not sure at that point if they would have been involved, but probably. Um, to the, um, what was it? To the Washington Bridge in Riley Park because some articles of clothing were found that the people that found it seemed to think that they were involved in the Delphi murders in May 2017. Two black T-shirts, I guess they're T-shirts, and a pair of blue jeans. I don't know why they were buried under landscaping stuff. I'm not sure what landscaping. I mean, like soil, plants, bushes. I don't fucking know. But what about these items were so weird and so standoffish that they told that person that found them, like, "Hey, this has something to do with the fucking murders." Yes, really. Yes, this is a discovery that has not been used against Richard Allen because it doesn't pertain to him. Yeah, so you can see why I made sure to go live before it even reached the next day about this. And that's not the fucked up part, Carol. Oh, because it's going to fuck your mind all up. Ready? Wow. The two people that found these items were Chase Wilbur and Kelsey German. Yeah. hmm I don't like the way it sounds. It's coming off as pretty fucking nuts to me. I still believe in what I believe in. That somehow Richard Allen was probably involved with this shit somehow. But for the life of me, I do not like the way that fucking sounds. I've seen the paperwork, so it looks pretty fucking legit to me. And okay, let's go back to the beginning of what I saw. Okay, the day there's a form that shows the logs taken by the Carroll County Sheriff's Department on what they were doing as they were looking for the missing girls. And on that list of things, there was, and this was on the 13th, FYI. Yeah, Carol, I gathered you do. But, and I'll get to the reason why it messes with me a little bit because I heard what I would call a rumor a long time ago and now I'm hearing it come back up again. But I'm hearing it from all sides now instead of back then when I was hearing it from one side. Just to say, my friends in the other group were the ones that first mentioned this to me. But like I was saying on the sheriff's log or whatever, and the latest afternoon or whatever, it shows that two miners or some miners were spotted near the Washington Bridge in Riley Park. So that means at the exact day that we know that the girls were being murdered, or very soon after, or whatever, on the same day, um, that some miners were seen, as in teens, I'm guessing, right by the Riley, in the Riley Park by the Washington Bridge or whatever the hell it's called, which just so happens to be later on in May, where Kelsey German and her boyfriend find supposed three items that they believe are evidence in the Delphi murders. Which by that point we saw she sees what Bridge Guy is wearing in the video. No black t-shirts. We know what the girls were wearing. No black t-shirts. So who the fuck is wearing the black t-shirts? If per se, and we don't even know what the lab results are at the moment in time to even know if they actually pertain to the actual murders themselves. But why of all people did it have to be fucking Kelsey and fucking Chase that found them? That bugs the fuck out of me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because, it also said in the report that they had to let the sheriffs know that because they dug out the items that they had touched them. I don't like that. I don't like the way that sounds. That sounds bad. This is for bad. Like, and the fact that we didn't know this until now. You hate me? Oh, cool. I hate me too. Does it make you feel better? It's still not going to keep you from jerking off while you're watching my fucking shit. So get over it. I don't even know who the fuck you are, to be honest with you, but yeah, it's probably either a stalker. Oh, they're all fucking stalkers at this point. No, I'm not one of those Richard Allen is fucking innocent people. FYI. What about Greeno? What does Greeno have to do with it, girl? Okay. See, all right. I'm gonna tell you what I was told a long time ago, and it didn't really math in my head. And I assumed at the time that I was being told it as a way to see if I was going to leak information to people that were outside the group and shit like that. Because back then there was a whole big thing about Mark Cohen and Turbo and everything else, and they seemed to be giving out, at least seemed to. Now I'm starting to wonder, to be honest. Weird information bits and pieces and this and that. That upon hearing them, they seem like they could be legitimate, right? What about Greeno? I know Greeno. He's my buddy. What are you talking about? I mean, I don't like the things he's done in his past, and I don't condone it or anything else. But I really don't hate the guy. So, but this is what I was told. randomly. I was told that, and I see this again popping up recently, so it's making me go, "What the fuck?" And starting to wonder if this wasn't actually something that was thought. That's what's messed up about it. Hey, I know he's done some fucked up things and everything else, and his past in regards to Delphi even is highly questionable. Hmm. Well, I can't remember the other people that were seen at the bridge that people keep talking about. Was any of them wearing like black t-shirts, something like that? I think it was like a black hoodie or black shirt or something, wasn't it? And we do have DNA that on the victims, depending on how it's explained or how it's not explained, comes from somebody other than seemingly Richard Allen. So don't get me wrong, I still believe there's plenty enough there to think that he's somehow involved. Period. Uh, you can think whatever you want. You're allowed to have your opinion, and just like I'm allowed to have mine. I could take the information and the evidence that was literally gift wrapped to the police from the get go and still find Richard Allen in a couple weeks. Why they weren't able to is a big what the fuck to me, and it always will be. I've always leaned towards incompetence, but I don't see how they pass the detective exam without figuring out how to track down a car and stuff like that. But I'm beating around the bush. What I was told back then was, how do that um, that Bree Wilbur and Kelsey German catfished a pedophile. And the part that didn't make any sense to me was that, you know, Bree and Kelsey didn't go to the trails that day, but they sent, like, Libby and Abby, which, for the life of me, it makes no sense. And I'm not going to be able to make the part make sense because why would you send your little sister and shit like that to possibly deal with a pedophile? And that stuff doesn't make any sense to me. That's why at the time I figured it was one of these BS things or whatever. But then all of a sudden, recently, it started being brought up again. But now it's outside of the troll farm and stuff that I hear. And I'm just like, why is this coming up again? And then the next thing I know is I see these forms and shit for everything that I'm telling you now. And I don't know. It does not sound good. Sorry, it just don't. I mean, I even had some weird thoughts. When I was texting to Hoosier earlier, I was like, you know, could it possibly be that like Delphi was a way to distract from something like Flora and all the fires and shit? Because they needed somebody. Eh, just because somebody's weird doesn't make them a killer. It takes a lot more signs and significance than that. I mean, I don't know. I have to go through a lot of stuff now all of a sudden and think about a lot now. And honestly, there's a lot of more weird stuff they told me back then too. And now I'm starting to question if any of it was some sort of bullshit. Maybe there's some truth to all of it. I'm not sure. I was also told that there was something weird, possibly involved in the crime, left on the lawn of Brad Holder, and I'm not sure if that was bullshit either. But it's always something that's stuck in my mind. Like somebody was trying to frame the holders for the crime. Yeah, that was exactly what the same person told me both things. And while I do know Mark Cohen as being connected to that person, um, this person, on the other hand, isn't the type that I thought would lie to me. I know who I need to talk to about that. In fact, I need to send him a message, Mr. Inquisitor. Yeah, I need to talk to my boy Rudy and see what the fuck's going on. Cause yeah, I don't like this. I don't like it one bit. Out of all that shit that we've been told all these years and all that crap that they've been saying and everything else since May of 2017, why did we not hear about these fucking clothes and shit being found? You think that would have been pertinent information, right? At least from Chelsea or one of the others for sure. Or they could have just said we found some stuff, and like I've been saying, what about these three clothing items screamed out, we need to dig up these items from whatever they're under because I think they're involved in the murders of my sister and her friend. There's very few things I can think of that would fire off red flags like that to me, and that possibly be them covered in blood and stuff. We don't even know if the blood was to the girls. We don't know any of that stuff. But the fact that it's all being talked about and brought up now, and the forms and all that shit are being released now, leads me to believe that it might have something to do with it. So then again, Muddy Bloody Chick says she saw blood on his jeans. So that, I mean, if it's Rick Allen, wouldn't he have had to go to Riley Park? And like I said, I'm not sure entirely how far Riley Park is from. It seems more indicative of somebody leaving the area on foot, aka the Monon High Bridge and the trails, and going to probably on foot to some other area, aka Riley Park, and I guess hiding the stuff there so it's not found on them. I don't know. I mean, especially since the miners were spotted, they could have been hiding that stuff, to because the cop, All I know is, at least from the perspective I'm looking at right fucking now, this doesn't. Oh, this is like fucking massive, and it doesn't look good at all because of the who finding it, when finding it, months later. Um, yeah, it's just insanity, and I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon because we've only heard of the information and everything as regards to Richard Allen. That means any items, any pieces, anything like that, any evidence found that's still connected to the murders, but not connected to Richard Allen, or they couldn't use it against him, was probably not even, you know, probably mentioned to his lawyers, I'm sure, which is why we have the paperwork and stuff for it now. But it, they ain't gonna bring up something unless they can somehow tie it to, which is weird because I was saying for since back then in 2017 that there was more evidence I bet was hidden out there somewhere locally, and to find out now that we already know that's truth. Okay, from the report that I saw, it was underneath the Washington something bridge. It's in Riley Park, underneath some landscaping stuff. I'm not sure what that means, like bushes or like sod or fucking soil bags. I'm not sure what that means at all because that's what it just says. So Riley Park, Washington Bridge underneath it. But I'm going to tell you that also, I do believe that logging report saying, yeah, for sure said some miners were spotted inside of Riley Park, and the police investigated that tip, and that was on the 13th. So that's really fucking weird. And I'm not sure if uh, that report gets made or not, or that call gets made, unless one or both of those people were fucking girls, or at least some of them. Maybe one boy, one girl, or something like that was spotted, and that's why they were investigating. Because if they're looking for missing girls, you know, they're not going to go mess with some boys. If they can tell they're boys, that's enough information. They know it's not Abby and Libby, right? Right. So at least one person there, I'm thinking at least had to be a girl. But we also find out, always have known that Bree Wilbur was also there at the trails that day herself. It's just too many. There's a lot of things I call small town bullshit, and there's a lot of things that I will be able to tell you that's like, no, that's when you exceed the line of small town bullshit, and things are like starting to lean towards more like what the fuck. And I'm gonna tell you right now, um, yeah, I still haven't heard a single thing that eliminates fucking Richard Allen from having a possible involvement in these crimes. And yeah, I'd love to actually hear that if somebody has some sort of way. Even the DNA that was found on the victims, if it somehow was attached to another perpetrator, well, that still doesn't eliminate Richard Allen as being a possible, accomplice or whatever in the crime. That's just how it is. The more I learn, the more I find that he never gets eliminated. Even Richard Davis's freaking confessions, which, yeah, I don't know. One sounds real, the other one doesn't. They both could be real. I don't know. But what do they not do? They don't eliminate Richard Allen. Two black shirts and a pair of blue jeans. And as I said, when Kelsey German herself and them called the cops, they said that they pretty well thought that these items were involved in the murders. That's what the report says, at least. I do remember one of those weird people that was spotted that day nearby or at the trails or whatever at the time. I'm not sure. But I do remember hearing that somebody was wearing some sort of black shirt or hoodie or something like that. So that makes me wonder. And like I said, we got DNA and everything else. At the point, and it's still at this point, everything at the crime scene tells me, except for that DNA, that this was one person that did this crime. Um, but this is why I keep an open mind to things. He could have easily fucking had help. It's just, yeah. I'm not going to sit on the line that's going to go 1,000% sure. We're 1,000% sure that we know Richard Allen killed both of them girls and this and that and the other. I'm sorry, because the cops fucked up really badly. We don't have the evidence to prove that. Maybe you got the evidence enough. Really, you don't even have. You can say plausibly that he probably killed Abby, probably, and that's if you even factor in the confessions and stuff like that, and the way he was trying to give out his Bible and this and that, which I do believe. I honestly do believe he tried to do that, and I do have a bit of evidence for that, and everybody will see it when I release it all. If we release it all, that's not really up to me. It's not my information. I mean, I I could give the information without actually having to give the actual evidence of the information, though. So I can still do that. It's up to Diana, basically, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm wondering. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to sit on one side and go, Richard Allen's innocent, free him, this, that, and the other. Fuck no, I'm not going to do that because everything in my gut, everything in my mind, everything I've seen tells me that's likely bullshit. But I'm not going to sit on the other side either and going, oh, it was him out there by himself and this and that and the other when all these things start piling up and everything else. And I think I've chosen very well correctly to sit my happy ass right in the fucking middle and say, fuck everybody else. I'm going to do what I think is fucking right, period. And I'm telling you what, the more I find out, the more I'm not liking about this fucking shit. So, yeah, both sides, yeah, you can all kiss my ass. I'm on my side. I'm on Libby and fucking Abby's side. And whoever, how many of them did so or whatever, anybody and everybody that had anything to do with their fucking murders can go to hell or to jail. Either works fine by me. No, no exceptions. No fucking exceptions. I don't care if it's the fucking clients. I don't care if it's the people that found that evidence. If they were somehow involved, it is what it is. I said what I had to say. Nobody gets a get out of jail free card if they had some fucking bullshit to do in this fucking case. And it's how do we have a victim's sister whose boyfriend was with her finding evidence months later, and her boyfriend's sister was at the fucking trails at the same fucking time as Abby and Libby. I don't like it, or at least around that time. I don't fucking like it at all. I don't like it in the way this sounds. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't fucking like it. The whole fact that these items are being brought up in that whole thing and all that other stuff as regards to discovery and all that's concerned, it leads me to believe that they possibly quite likely did have something to do with these with the crime, or else we would not be hearing about them. They would have been deemed bullshit and probably thrown in the trash or burned or whatever. The fact that they're included in the files and paperwork and discovery and everything else, and see, that's the thing. Mark Cohen back then told everybody that he had the discovery and the crime scene photos and stuff. Which, yeah, he had the crime scene photos. I'm not sure entirely the amount of discovery he had, but I do believe he had some of it. And he often talked to this person about that. That told me this weird theory about the girls catfishing a pedophile at the trails, but then leaving it to Abby and Libby. It just that part of the story is just what not making sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me that you would drive away and leave your sister or whatever, like this, that, and the other. Like, I hate my fucking sister. Sometimes I actually want to kill myself. Straight up, the civil. I just don't see it. For the life of me, I just don't fucking see it. But the whole catfishing thing, it doesn't make much sense either. If they're gonna catfish them, you don't go to the end of the fucking bridge, and you don't fucking leave them there. Because something like exactly what happened could happen. I do believe if they actually are evidence in a case against someone like other than Richard Allen or accomplice or whatever, that yeah, the police probably still have those clothes. So yeah, uh, there's quite a good possibility that yes, the police have that shit. And I'm left going, what the fuck is going on now? That's exactly what I'm thinking in my head. And I know there's groups that are gonna get mad that I'm even talking about this, but honestly, it's all over the place from what I saw. You know how to look. You know how to find this information. And yeah, I honestly think they're doing the right thing, in my own personal opinion. in regards to any suspects other than Richard Allen, that is my I don't know. I don't believe in this whole he's innocent thing. And I'm not going to, unless somebody could somehow. As I keep asking, just give me a good fucking reason that he couldn't have been involved. Because for the life of me, that's him in the video. I don't care what anybody says. There's nobody that fits that. And you have to look at it from my perspective. I did exactly what the fucking person that was supposed to be paid $10,000 for that they didn't want to pay, so they never had it done. I did that shit myself, so I know better than anybody how the measurements and everything of Bridge Guy matches up damn well in every single way that I could actually measure to Richard Allen. And I'm just waiting for the day that somebody else does it. Because I'm just the lone idiot sitting here telling everybody the same shit over and over again. Somebody else is going to fucking do it. It's not that difficult. When they do it, well, I won't be the only weirdo that everybody's looking at like fucking doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's too small to be Mike Patty. Mike Patty's like 5'9", almost 5'10". He's not within the measurement range that I had. Plus, his torso, legs, and everything else is actually significantly shorter. I was able to eliminate a lot of people based on the measurements I was able to take. Now, what I haven't done yet is I haven't retaken those measurements using that new video that's definitely seen me enhanced, because it was damn near not anything, uh, nowhere near as what I measured back then was nowhere near as good as what I would be able to measure now. Because back then it was really blurry and all kinds of other stuff. But in the new enhanced footage and all that stuff, which is the problem, it's enhanced, it's messed with, it's tweaked. Um, Even if it's just the audio, I'd like to know, but I don't think many have given me a valid answer to that. And if I can find out that if it's just all right to use, then I'll start the process again. If not, what's the point of even doing it? Because I can't talk about it because it's not verified. Um, Seriously, does anybody fucking around here mean no fucking trigonometry? What the hell? It's not that hard to figure out, people. I do know that the ones carrying around plexiglass and pieces of plywood, comparing it to somehow being a legitimate way to measure fucking bridge guys' height and all that shit is ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. Um, if I need to explain why it's ridiculous, well, like I need to say that. If you don't understand why that wouldn't work, you're not going to understand when I tell you how it wouldn't work. And I'd rather not give any of these idiots fucking any more leeway in their minds to figuring things out. There is a very good excuse and reason that I left off half the equation. I didn't give you all the equation. I didn't give you all the angle. I didn't give you all the pertinent information in regards to a certain 2 or 3 details that's very well required to do that. And I don't know if somebody actually came to me one day and was like, "Hey, I want to figure out your math and stuff and this, that, and the other." I'd ask them to, okay, what information do you need? And if those 2 or 3 things aren't involved, the things I've left unsaid that are really fucking important to the equation, then there's no reason to keep. I mean, I used to have a video of how I explained it all, and it had all the information in there, most of it. There's one little detail I kept to myself because I didn't want. I figured at least I deserved the fucking credit for it or something. But it's rare to even find anybody on here that actually understands trigonometry and stuff. So it's like I'm not using Carroll County Sheriff's Department's files or their evidence or anything like that. Sure, they found the evidence, but the evidence was there all along. You find the car, you find the killer. Simple as that. How they couldn't find Richard Allen when they had the car? Bullshit. Bullshit. There's only 6 cars total. If you want to count in those other cars, I can tell you a million reasons why you shouldn't, but hey, if you want to count them into, whatever. How hard would it have been to go through Carroll County and find those 6 different types of cars and track those down? They only had a year or two, 3 tops for each. The fact that cops couldn't do that much says everything I need to know as far as I thought was concerned. I'm now starting to wonder. All along, I've been like, it's either corruption or fucking incompetence. Uh, but the more information I hear, the more I'm starting to lean away from the incompetence theory. I've always told people all along that the corruption, if there was any, they're looking at the wrong case, because the key to that had all in regards to other crimes, or specifically one crime, and that would have been Flora. Now, I never said that the Flora was connected to Delphi. I'm starting to wonder a little bit now, just a little bit. But of course, we know it's connected via the the appraisal and all that other stuff being done by Becky Patty and stuff like that. I get that. And Patrick Westfall living a block or so from the Flora house was a little bit, yeah, I get that too. So yeah, there's definitely connections between the crimes, but it's whether or not those connections are just small town bullshit, as I've been saying, or like what the fuck. And now I'm starting to wonder, it's really just small town bullshit. And there's a lot of fucking fires around that area around that time and shit. And a lot of people died, not just the 4 girls in Florida and stuff. And I do know that right now there's some serious looking into is being done by the feds. In regards to what? Not entirely sure. But I know that they were in Florida. So, you know, who knows? But the more I'm hearing, the more I'm not liking what I hear. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't look good. Um, I don't know what that means. Honestly, I really don't. I'm not going to sit here and throw out guesses and everything else, or family bash or any of that other stuff, because I'm not going to do something like that until I know if there's actual proof of it. Because y'all don't know how it's like to be accused of being a murderer, or having your family thrown under a fucking bush, under a bus or whatever, just because one of your family members gets murdered or something like that. But I do, and I've been interrogated for many hours and stuff. So, me myself, I'm not gonna just throw Kelsey or any of the others under that bus or whatever without some actual evidence to prove it, because it's a fucked up thing to do, and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody, any of y'all personally. And no, unlike the usual lives, sometimes we keep them up. Sometimes this one's staying fucking up. I don't care. And people get mad all they fucking like about what they said. I have the evidence. I have the proof of what I've been speaking of. I know it's the truth. You can take it how you want to take it. Um, I'm not jumping to any conclusions. I'm looking at it from an outsider's perspective, as I've never even fucking been to Indiana. Let's just be straight up. Um, been here since the fucking first press conference when they asked about that fucking car. So, uh, yeah, I think I know enough about this crime to tell you what the fuck. And I'm starting to get what the fucks. And yeah, it don't look good. But I don't see any reason at all for anybody to be saying that Richard Allen needs to be released. It just means you don't understand the actual evidence. And I ain't even talking about the fucking cops. This is just common sense evidence fucking sitting there. The car leads you to the bad guy. Very simple. Cop 101 bullshit logic that every detective should know. The fact that people are arguing against that just makes me wonder about your actual experience in crime itself, specifically murders and stuff. I went to, mind you, I live in Florida, like I've told everybody a million times. But after receiving finally the photos and stuff of the cars and all that other stuff, I found the best picture I could of the car that they believe to be the rich guy's car. And I took it to as many mechanics and everything else that I could possibly find in this area. And I'm not even gonna lie to you, 75 to 80% of the motherfuckers jumped right on the whole Focus hatchback, or as they said in some cases, hatchback was replaced with station wagon kind of thing. Um, if they could do all that by sight and not name any other car that often, why couldn't they have done that in Delphi? Go right to the mechanic and say, "Hey, what does that look like to you?" And then once told what they were given most likely to be the right answer, all they had to do was hop on their little computer thing and tippy 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 for those 3 years of the Ford Focus that matched that. That's all they had to do. Then they do their little circular loop that they teach you how to do when you're becoming a detective or a cop and all that stuff. They say work from the inside out, making a circular motion as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. They would not have even made it out of Carroll County before running into Richard Allen, and he would have been on their scopes right away. How the fuck? Yeah, how the fuck did they not know who the fuck Richard Allen is within 3 weeks of the crime? I don't fucking get it. I will never get it. You can't explain it to me other than sheer fucking incompetence or corruption. Period. You do your fucking job. It's a common sense. I'm not a cop. I didn't train to be a cop. I just read a lot of cases. So I know this shit. Why the fuck are you a cop if you don't know how to do jack shit when being a fucking cop? What's wrong, Carol? Yeah, I don't really. I'm not liking this shit at all, man. I'm not liking it at all. Um, and I know that one day I'm gonna have to fucking go to Indiana because uh, that seems impossible for me to get away with not having to go to Indiana because I tried. This is just, I don't know. Because if you find Richard Allen in 3 weeks, you can prove his story and everything wrong or right very simply enough with the car's brain, just like in the Murdaugh trial. That GPS and all that shit was good for 90 fucking days. 90 days in the 2016 Ford Fusion SE hatchback. That means if they had acquired that, that's a large piece of evidence that we no longer had at trial, correct? It would have thrown his whole story out about him being there earlier and leaving by that point and all kinds of other stuff. We didn't know exactly where the fuck he was. And to me, that's a massive piece of evidence, especially if that proves he's lying. And if you're lying, you gotta have a reason to be lying. And if you better have a good fucking reason for having to lie then, because yeah, this fucking murdered 2 kids, right? No, you can say weird things are weird, okay? To tell me that Kelsey German and her fucking boyfriend's finding fucking evidence months later in Bradley Park, which was also on the fucking chart on February 13th as one of the places that was investigated because miners were spotted there. Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit. Yeah, I'm not saying it's beyond weird. I'm saying it's fucking starting to sound weird. I don't like it the way it sounds. I don't like it at all. It doesn't make okay. Like I said, I was still willing to lean more towards incompetence when it came to the law enforcement in Indiana. Um, I'm starting to lean away from it just a wee bit now. And the problem in that situation is because in Delphi, in Carroll County, ISP, I got two options that I'm left with at this point. They're fucking idiots, or they're involved in some bullshit and they're trying to hide it. And I don't know what the bullshit is. I'm not going to claim to know what the bullshit is. Could it possibly involve the fires? Sure. But yeah, I'm starting to lean away from one side, which is they're just fucking idiots. Yeah, I'm sorry. Nobody's that fucking stupid. How hard does it go to some mechanics and show them a picture and say, "Hey, what you think that looked like?" It don't take a fucking genius. I did it. Took 2 days without even much effort. So imagine if your cop's trying to really bust a case. Oh, believe it or not, um, yeah. Where do you think I got the information from? So people that want to say I'm on this side or that side, fuck everybody. I'm on my own side. Real evidence, real proof, facts. That's what I'm about. I don't give a fuck about the side that thinks Richard Allen is fucking innocent. I don't give a fuck about the side that thinks he's guilty. I've seen enough to where I can think, hey, he's probably at least involved in this shit. Until somebody has some sort of piece of evidence or proof or a fact or something like that somehow eh, starts leaning in a different direction, I'm going to keep that now. Because every single little piece of evidence, none of it eliminates Richard Allen as being involved somehow, some way. I'm sorry, it doesn't. And people always say, "Yeah, but there's this evidence and that evidence." I'm sorry. The most you got is the DNA, and all the DNA tells me is there was somebody else that could have been involved. It doesn't eliminate Richard Allen. But at the other side, the people that are saying for sure that he's innocent, no. There's plenty of information there that if you understood it all, at least, yeah, as I can comprehend it, no, there's a lot of fucking information there. I don't think there's anybody in Carroll County that could have matched up to the specs on Bridge Guy with Richard Allen. I eliminated every fucking male member I could possibly find that I could measure in the fucking Patty family. Brad Holder, fucking Elvis Fields, the Westfall or whatever the fuck his name is, gone, done, every one of them. I could find multiple reasons why each of them couldn't be Bridge Guy. You know who I couldn't eliminate? Richard Allen. Eventually, somebody else with a half a brain that understands how to do the math and shit is going to come up, and I won't be the only fucking weirdo sitting out here going, guys, it's obvious. And then maybe some of you will start fucking listening. I highly doubt in this entire community I'm the only one that fucking knows how to do the fucking math. So people are either just not doing it or they're just lying. And the way this case has gone so far, I'm more likely to believe that they're just fucking lying. Some might just not have done it and stuff, but no, I'm really starting to believe there's fucking. I don't know. I don't know a fucking thing anymore, and I'm not even entirely sure what the fucking trust in this fucking thing anymore. It's just, yeah. This is pure insanity. And I don't even feel like I need to ask you, Fish. Yeah, I know you've seen the reports I'm talking about that started dropping yesterday, right? About in May and shit, evidence being found at the Washington Bridge inside of Radley Park, and two black T-shirts and a pair of blue jeans. For whatever reason, the caller swore up and down that they thought that these items had something to do with the incident. Of course, that being the Delphi murders. I'd love to know what stood out about these items so much that screamed Delphi murders. I really want to know. Mm, really want to fucking know. And it even being worse that the fact that the people that found these items, handled these items, and dug out these items was Kelsey Derman and Chase Wilbur. I'm sorry, it doesn't sound good. I don't think it's supposed to sound good. It's fucked up. These items would have been sitting there February, March, April, 4 months, over 4 months, something like that. Sheesh. And the first people to find them is fucking. This is just insanity, yo. Insanity. What the fuck, yo? I was gonna come on here and do a birthday party thing, but I don't know. I think somebody's mad at me or something. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but yeah. And then I was like gonna do some random live or whatever, and then I don't know. I had a feeling something was gonna happen, and then I started seeing documents get dropped all over X and stuff. Which, yeah, this ends. I'm starting to dig this whole X thing. It's just getting really interesting. Fact wise, yeah. And I would love to thank the Amy and Yellow Jacket and people like that are dropping this information because yeah, I think it's fucking important. Really fucking important, honestly. I mean, if it somehow wasn't Kelsey or wasn't this person or wasn't that person, I could see why people wanted to keep it, quiet. A bit, sure. In case somebody else or get a new trial or this and that and the other. I get that. I get it. Cool. But the fact that of all people that find it, it's them. That irks the fuck out of me, for one. For two, what did they see that screamed to them, we need to dig up these fucking items? They might be involved in my sister's murder. What did they see? Out of all the times she said something before this, we got no fucking hint at all as regards to anything. I don't remember much of shit being talked about Riley fucking Park and the bridge and shit. It's fucking weird, man. You would just think something would have been said. All those interviews, all this, all that. Nothing? Not a detail, nothing. Everything else gets leaked, but this, I don't like it. And I'm just waiting for the head to drop. What else? And we don't know. This, I mean, man, I've been sitting here for like 8 some years now, probably. If it involved Delphi one way, shape, or form or the other, unless it was just regular YouTuber stuff, I tend to watch every fucking bit of it. And it's not because I'm looking for I'm looking for not only changes in story, way things are mentioned, and all that other good stuff, because the way somebody will tell you a story and the way it changes and everything else tells you many things about the story itself. And, and like I said, a long time ago, a person told me that Bree Wilbur and Kelsey German catfished a pedophile. I guess they met Richard Allen. I'm not sure. Um, but they somehow just dropped the girls off to meet him and left them there, which makes no fucking sense to be honest. This just makes no fucking sense. The fact that Rich Guy was damn near power walking when he was spotted and stuff is the part, like, to me, it kind of, if he didn't get there before the girls did, it would kind of scream to me like he knew somebody was going to be there, right where he wanted them to be, or somebody was going to be there very soon, which means the girls were targeted. If the girls were targeted, it makes it a whole new fucking ball game. And you add in the fact of the DNA and possible accomplices being helped given to the culprit before or after the crime and everything else. Holy shit, you just opened the fucking can of worms. And if this somehow investigation is closed now, I don't fucking think so. No fucking way in hell is this done. I feel like I gotta literally take second thoughts on every single fucking thing I know now. And I have to adjust it just slightly because of these facts. And then more facts are going to come in, and I'm going to have to do it again. And I'm telling you right now, it's gone toward it's gone going away from moron fucking cops that just don't know how to do their job here to what the fuck is going on here? Seriously, what the fuck is going on? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Hell, just this evening alone, I've had process of thought of out of nowhere. Was the murders in Delphi a way to distract from fucking the fires in Florida and stuff? I honestly, I never had to process that. I thought it was just like, no, no, they wouldn't do that. No. Now it's just like, well, because they had 40 something, I think it was 40 something different branches of law enforcement in fucking Carroll County from all over the fucking United States and federal government, telling me nobody knew to look that to track down the fucking car. Did they all just assume that somebody had done it already? None of them. FBI, TBI, GBI, all of them. Nobody fucking did it. It seems the easiest fucking thing to do in the world. With the manpower, the resources, and all that other shit, and a simple computer. Hell, probably only took one computer. You have it done in a couple weeks, tops. I think I could have done it in a couple weeks. I'm straight up being honest with you. By myself, I probably could have done that in a couple weeks. So the fact that they had all these officers, all these agents, all this, all that, all this, all that, I'm sure you need to set some people aside to take leads and all that other shit. Sure, I get that. How the fuck did you not take, I don't know, 10 guys and be like, buddy, we kind of know what that car is. Y'all need to track it down. Start with Carroll County first. Boom. Richard Allen. Boom. How the fuck did it take 8 years to find him? It makes no sense. Nobody's that retarded, dog. I must say it. I have to say it. Somebody's got to say it. Nobody's that fucking retarded. Nobody. I've heard many cases where fucking dumbass cops did some dumbass shit or couldn't do smart, not even smart shit. This is fucking 101. It's common sense bullshit. When I read books and shit like that, they always said if you can't identify an unsub or something like that, you need to identify any parts of the case that you can identify. Well, that car's kind of pretty identifiable. Like I said, if you want to say, well, you just got lucky, trolls. The Mechanics US just happened to be kind of right. Okay, yeah, I'll put that into the gear, and we'll tack on the other 5 or 6 cars that people swear that it could be, even though I can explain why it couldn't be. But no. All right, we'll go with that. How many cops does it take to track down all the cars in Carroll County that meet those 5 or 6 cars? I'm guessing there's been like 30 tops. It took no time at all. They still would have found Richard Allen. Bada bing, bada boom. Problem solved, right? So why did it take fucking so many years? Does it have to do with this whole bridge guy was cleared? I'm like, yes. I've heard that bridge guy in the video was cleared. I have heard the tip that Richard Allen gave himself was cleared. I have heard a lot of clears, but no reason and stuff. I've even heard, I'm going to say valid rumor. I put my faith, I put a little bit of trust in the person that told me about who wrote the whole cleared on there. I'd like to know no, why. I really would. And I'm going to tell you right now that the name I was given for that is the same person that um, that received the information about the clothing and shit being found at fucking Riley Park. Take with that information what you will. Same fucking cop. So if he's sitting there running around putting cleared on everything and also handling the evidence and the tests and all that other shit, I got a lot of questions I got to ask him. I don't, yeah. Unless anybody's got any questions or whatever else, I don't know. I'll probably be back tomorrow because this shit seems to be going. Oh, we're gonna be doing this quite a bit soon, very soon. The more that gets released, and the more that we learn about fucking discovery and shit, as in regards to not pertaining to Richard Allen, is gonna be fucking really crazy. I have a feeling now. It's not his MO, dude. It makes no sense to be Gary Kurtz. Yeah, Gary Kurtz, he liked to strangle people. And he left the crime scene's mess and stayed there long after the murders that he committed and all kinds of other stuff. It doesn't say bridge guy at all to me. I get the whole fact that he knew Ron Logan, and we could prove that because there's pictures of him with bronze horses and stuff. I get all that. That's more like possible small town bullshit, you know, and not. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, shit. At this point, I don't fucking know. But it's just, yeah, I don't see any covering. If Garrett Kurtz, he never tried to hide any bodies or blood or anything like that. He just left them where the fuck they died. So I mean, yeah. Other than them trying to use the some probable bullshit theory to get some leverage and a way to get out of prison early or something or a reward. That that shit is done all the time. So, but yeah, I don't know who's watching. Only one person was talking. Thanks, Carol. Thanks, Fish. Whoever Zero Cool is, pick a better name because the only people I know by that name are really awesome, and you're not them. Probably just fucking must think or someone with a fucking need for therapy. And yeah, stay the fuck off my channel. I think I need to go in regards and go back to law enforcement again and say, hey, this bitch is still fucking stalking me. And I've got a bunch of fucking evidence to prove that because you can't shut the fuck up about it. I got all the emails. I got all kinds of shit. Uh, you literally are fucking creepy, and you need to help. Period. So don't make me have to be the bad guy here and have your ass put back in the slammer. I prefer not to. And my trolls, well, I love you guys too. I'm so glad you have nothing better to do to keep talking to us. You know. and wanting to watch my content and stuff. Hey, oh, I forgot. My bad, my bad. What's up, Keith? I know you're fucking recording. Listen, fucker. Okay, let me tell you something flat out and clear. If me or my people had anything to do with you being harassed because of anybody, you'd know. I don't send underlings to do my work for me. If I had an issue with you, I know exactly where to find you, whether it be X or hell, I'm in a Discord right now with you. So you want to keep recording my lives and Diana's lives and this and that and the other? You can do what you want, dude, but you're not going to like the outcome. But I tell you what, ain't shit got to do with us. If I got a problem with you, bro, you'd know because you'd be dealing directly with me. I have no fear. And as I said, you can seem to put yourself right where I can easily find you. If I had some sort of issue, you'd hear about it. I talked to Tatiana. I talked to all the other people, Yellow Jacket. I talked to DB. I talked to Angela. I consider all these people actually, either acquaintances or friends. They got no issue with me whatsoever. So, yeah, do what you got to do, man. But you're barking up the wrong tree. And anybody that I consider a friend that watches and you seeing this thing and everything else, yeah, I don't think they have anything to do with it either. But I can only speak for myself and Diana. And if what's her face, Amy or whatever, she wants to stay on X, that's her prerogative. I am not some fucking war hero or gonna go start some shit over some lady's feelings getting hurt on fucking X. I ain't got a problem with Amy either, but that ain't my fucking business, dude. Um, my business is fucking people fucking me and my people. And I can tell you that my people didn't have nothing to do with it. Whatever bullshit you're talking about, because I don't even know. I've taken on massive groups, the Troll Farm and others, and all kinds of other stuff by myself. And if I had a problem with anybody, trust me, I got no regards to going after them just very easily. So yeah, you can keep and say or think whatever you want as regards to me, but ain't nobody on here scare me, dog. If I got issues, I come right to you. I don't play this spy bullshit, beat around the bush, and all this other. No, I don't do that. If I got an issue with you, you'll know. Simple as that. I don't know you. Um, you could be a nice person for all I know. The others seem to think you're nice. So maybe I don't know, but you and what's your face's issue is. I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I do know. All I'm giving a damn about is it's not my fucking business, and I'd rather it stay that way. And if I keep seeing things pop up, yeah, my name's Charles. I'm necessary evil. That is a fact. I'm a real fucking pain in the ass. I don't give a fuck about anybody but my people. I am an asshole. I'm being real nice lately to a lot of people and being pretty mature as far as I can see it. I really like to keep it that way, but if people want to fuck with me, I ain't got no option. Regards to everyone else, like I said, I hope you have a nice night. And I gotta go back to being irrelevant because apparently too many people are talking about me and shit again, and it's ruining my irrelevant reputation and stuff. So you all have a great night, and I don't know, fucking do something with yourself. Fuck. Peace.